Today we're going to talk about slope. Slope is a fraction that represents how steep a line is. The bigger the number, the more steep that line is. There are 4 different types of slope. The first slope would be a positive fraction, and that slope on a graph would be a straight line going up and to the right. A negative slope would have a negative fraction, and that line would be going down and to the right. This is what a negative slope would look like. An undefined slope would be when you have a line that is exactly vertical. This is what an undefined slope looks like. And lastly, we have a zero slope. A zero slope is a horizontal line. When you're thinking of slope, you can kind of think about skiing a little bit. Could you ski on a positive slope? Yes, you could. There you are up at the top. Probably a smile on your face, skiing down the slope. Can you ski on a negative slope? Yes, you can also ski on a negative slope. Whoop, can't really see your smile, but there it is, skiing downward. Could you ski on a zero slope? Yes, you could ski on a zero slope. This would be called cross-country skiing. So you're skiing either to the right or to the left. Now, could you ski on an undefined slope? Not so much. It looks like you wouldn't be so much skiing as just falling to your death. So the way that you can remember the different kinds of slopes between undefined and zero is that an undefined slope you would not be able to ski on. So that would be a vertical line. A zero slope you can ski on, it would just be a horizontal line, so you would be cross-country skiing. Now let's go ahead and actually calculate some slopes. You can find the slope of a line by using the following method if you have a graph to look at. What you would do is you would pick 2 points that are on the graph and count how to get from one point to the other. First go up and then go over. This is called the rise and the run. So going up would be the rise, and then running would be going to the right or to the left. Let's go ahead and try one. Taking a look at this first graph, we have 2 points that are already selected for us. We have this point down here, and then we have -2, 2. Now, in order to get from our bottom point up to the top point, we need to first rise. So we count how many spaces we need to rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we would need to run 1, 2, 3 to the right. So our rise over run is 5/3, and our slope is 5/3. Let's take a look at the second one. Going from the bottom point to the top point, we would first need to rise 1, 2, 3, 4. And now when we go to run, notice we have to run to the left. Remember how on a number line, going to the left would be negative numbers and going to the right is positive numbers. So when we go to the left 1, 2, it's actually -2. This fraction can be simplified to -2, and so our slope is -2. On the third graph, let's do the same thing. Take a look at our 2 points. The rise, we would have to rise up +2. And then again, we are running in the negative direction, 1, 2, 3. So -3. So our slope is -2/3. Just remember, rise over run. First go up and then go over. You can also find the slope of a line by following a different method. If you don't have a graph to look at, but you do know 2 points on the line, you can use this method. It says find the slope of the line that goes through the points 5, 3, and 2, 2. Step number 1 is to first line up the 2 points vertically. So we have 5, 3, and 2, 2. Step number 2 is to subtract going downwards. So I'm going to subtract 5 minus 2, which is 3, and then 3 minus 2, which is 1. Now step number 3 is to put the y on the top of the fraction and the x on the bottom of a fraction. Remember that this column right here on the left-hand side, this is the x column, and then we have the y column on the right. So what we want to do is take our y-coordinate, which is 1. That's going to go on the top of our fraction. Then we take our x-coordinate and we put it on the bottom. Therefore, our slope is 1/3. So if you were to look at a graph that had these 2 points, you would have to rise 1 and then run 3. Let's go ahead and try another one. Find the slope of the line that goes through the points -2, 1, and 0, -3. First, go ahead and line up the 2 points vertically. So -2, 1, and 0, -3. Remember, x is for our first column, y is for our second column. Now step number 2 is to subtract. -2 minus 0 is -2. 1 minus -3. Now look at what we have going on here. We have a minus and a negative. Think about bloop bloop. We need to bloop bloop this right here, and we end up with 1 plus 3, which is 4. Step number 3 is to go ahead and take your y-coordinate, put it on the top, take your x-coordinate, put it on the bottom, and that will be your slope. The y-coordinate is 4, the x-coordinate is -2, and that can be simplified to -2, so that is our slope. Good job. Go ahead and take a few minutes to solve the following problems and find the slope. Go ahead and pause the video, find the slope, and then restart the video when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, we're ready to check our answers. So let's go ahead and first line up our 2 points vertically. We have -4, 3, and 1, 2. Remember, this is the x, and this is the y. Now subtracting, we have -4 minus 1, which is -5. And then we have 3 minus 2, which is 1. This gives us a slope of -1/5. Problem number 4. We have 1, -5, and 8, 3. This is our x, this is our y. We're going to go ahead and subtract. 1 minus 8 is -7. -5 minus 3 is -8. This gives us a slope of -8 over -7. However, this needs to be simplified because when you have a negative in the numerator and a negative on the denominator, it's like taking a negative divided by a negative, which is equal to a positive. So positive 8/7 is our slope. Number 5, we have -1, 1, and 3, 1. Here's our x, here's our y. First, we take -1 minus 3, and that's -4. And 1 minus 1 is 0. When I write my slope, I end up with 0 over -4. Now, I'm not sure if that equals 0 or if that equals undefined. So if you try that on your calculator and type in 0 divided by -4, your calculator should say that it equals 0. That means that this line is a horizontal line. It has a 0 slope. Remember, 0 slope you can still ski on, so it's not undefined. It's just 0. And lastly, number 6. Let's go ahead and line them up. -5, 3, and -5, 0. Here's our x, here's our y. Now, being careful on this one, there's a lot of negative and minus signs here on the left. It's -5 minus -5. That means here I need to bloop bloop. -5 plus 5 is 0, and 3 minus 0 is 3. So when I write my fraction, I get 3 over 0. Now when I type this on my calculator, if I type in 3 divided by 0, it says maybe undefined or syntax error. It actually won't even do the problem for you, because you can't divide by 0. This means that your line is a vertical line and you can't ski on it, and so there actually is no slope. So you can either draw this symbol to show no slope, or you can just write the words no slope. And then that's your answer. Good job. And that's the conclusion of our lesson on slope. Thanks for watching.